Wednesday's footy news here on afl.com.au. Hello everyone, Matt Thompson reporting from a very chilly Melbourne today. The weather's a little bit better out west and maybe that's why Travis Cloke could be heading to Perth to play for the Fremantle Dockers. That is the latest speculation. Of course, he's previously been linked with GWS. No word from the Cloke camp today. We called David Cloke. He said no comment, no comment, no comment to every question we asked him, so we couldn't get an answer from him on this front. Travis Cloke, no sign of him at the Westpac Centre, a player's day off down there today. Eddie Maguire did say on radio though that Cloke heading to Fremantle would be like a broadcaster switching from Triple M to SBS. No offence to the people at SBS there. That was Eddie's words, not ours. Let's cross to Perth though, because Ross Lyon has weighed in on this. Here's what he had to say.
The overriding position is, as a club, we don't comment on speculation and conduct our business through the media, and so therefore I've really got no comment to make specifically on Cloke. Or next week will be Brendan Goddard, and the week after that will be Brett Stanton, and then it'll be Tom Lonigan after that. So I'm not going to jump into specifics except to say we acknowledge we've got a strong strategic approach and people empowered in those positions, and my function is to coach, and that's where it sits.
Now to the on-field news at Freo, and it's bad for Nat Fyfe. He's finally headed for surgery on his troublesome shoulder.
It was innocuous yesterday. He went to tackle, he reached out. Even on the weekend he did control himself. So Nathan was incredibly keen. We had the okay, but we made it strong that if it dislocated fully again, it would be best for surgery.
Still on the injury front, confirmation Gary Ablett won't take on the Dockers. His knee still a concern.
Certainly won't play against Freo, I can tell you that. And who he'll play after that, I don't know.
Ken, is it really important though to get him back against GWS? I mean,
No, I think that's nearly a ridiculous question. It's great to get Gary Ablett back anytime. Whoever we play, we'd like to have him. I'll probably go on record and say that. We'd love to have him in the team whenever he's ready, but we're not going to rush Gary Ablett. We just got too much invested there, and our team's got too much invested in our future.
Look, it was a pretty important week for us last week, and obviously having him out for the first game, that the boys stepped up, and Kenny said, all we want from our boys is effort, and I thought the boys last week in Gary's absence definitely stood up.
Still on the Fremantle Gold Coast game, who would have thought the build-up to this match would be so big? It's all because of Gary Ablett's tweet. Ross Lyon still not happy about it. Carmichael Hunt says there was not meant to be any offence.
Look, that couldn't be further from the truth. We respect Freo like every other team in the competition. So whether they're going to add a little bit extra in the contest this weekend, I'm not too sure. I just look forward to playing them.
My mother taught me civility costs nothing, so they're certainly not adhering to that.
Beyond the Dockers and Suns, the free agency talk is everywhere. In Adelaide, Brenton Sanderson has a dire forecast if the likes of Patrick Dangerfield and Kurt Tippett are poached.
I would love to keep them both. If they both left, it'd be shattering for the footy club. We'd have to start again in some areas, but that's something we'll talk about later in the year.
But while the Kangaroos aren't flushed with cash, Brad Scott isn't fearful.
Now, in the Travis Cloke example, I think clubs will make plays for players that can improve their list, but I still don't think that free agency is going to have a significant impact on the top 10% of your list. I'd be very surprised if players leave, those top 10 players on your list, if they leave under the free agency rule. Clubs generally keep the players they're desperate to keep.
The Bombers have failed to secure state government funding for their mega base at the airport. It's forcing the club's president, David Evans, to dip into his own pocket.
We're obviously not going to talk to you about the amount because I want to keep that private between us and the football club, but I don't feel I can go and talk to our members and our private benefactors if we're not seriously committing to the project ourselves.
And Evans admits it's the community that will lose out.
I think the community part or the infrastructure for our community programs probably get put back a bit. But as I said publicly yesterday, we're committed to it. I mean, this is more than just a training facility. It is about providing community outcomes for our community partners.
And in more bad news for the Bombers, hopes of a quick return for the injured Michael Hurley dashed.
What we find with hamstrings is you normally miss 3 weeks. That's the way they're being handled at the moment. So, and if a player has history, then you have to be a little bit more conservative. And what you don't want to do is obviously bring someone back a little bit early.
Back to Perth, and with Josh Kennedy's ankle surgery adding to West Coast's injury woes, coach John Worsfold is pondering what to do up forward as the Eagles prepare to host the Kangaroos.
Well, we're blessed to have some pretty good options to look at. So Josh won't be playing, but we've got players that we think can step up to those roles, and we'll work out whether it's an opportunity to give some younger players some good development time, or whether we go back to some old stalwarts.
And that is the footy news on this cold and chilly Wednesday in Melbourne. But of course, we have cameras and reporters right across Australia bringing you video and text. So make sure you click back soon for more, because remember, here on AFL.com.au, the footy news is free.